My name is Arzu, and I am 28 years old. And for 28 years, because of Armenia, I cannot go home. For 28 years, I have been witnessing war. My grandparents, my parents, me, my nephews and my nieces, we all witness war. The false peace has become such a norm that you are left with no tears to cry for all those who fall for your country. You are left with no emotions when you see photos from Khojaly or yesterday's attack in Ganja. You are left with only one thought. The world has failed. The UN has failed. The OSCE has failed. My people were running away barefoot in the mountains during winter time. The occupier runs away driving cars. My people were sleeping tight in their beds. The occupier hides in shelters. My people were mass killed, ethnically cleansed, forced away from their houses. The occupier calls me the aggressor. In Azerbaijan, we have tens of thousands of Armenians residing as part of our community. The occupier has 13 terroristic organizations and no Azerbaijani living in Armenia. Muslims, Jews, Christians, kids, women, elderly people, soldiers, generals, they all die for our country. Azerbaijan is facing covert terroristic attacks out of the battleground. Azerbaijan is losing precious civilians' lives. As 30 years before, as during all these years, as yesterday in Ganja, 270 civilians are wounded, 60 civilians are killed. And while I'll talk to you here, this number is growing. Yesterday, we lost 3 kids, including a year-old baby girl. You cannot whitewash the oppression with historical claims. You cannot point fingers. You cannot ignore 1 million of Azerbaijani refugees in order to accommodate 150,000 of Armenians. You cannot commit a number of cultural and ecological genocides and then argue about your indigenous presence. We, all those who gather here, we never wanted war. For almost 30 years, Azerbaijan was calling for peace. For almost 30 years, Azerbaijan learned by heart every point in those 4 resolutions. For almost 30 years, Azerbaijan was trying to say that we were bleeding. Khojaly genocide, peace talks. 1 million of refugees, peace talks. A terroristic attack on civilians, peace talks. No one cared. The only thing is, these peace talks are just a farce show by the Armenian government. It's like all the rules and all the regulations are written just for Azerbaijan. If justice cannot be served for my people, for all those who were brutally massacred, who died trying to save their children, who didn't even were part of this war, Azerbaijan will enforce justice itself. When the UN fails, when the OSCE fails, when the international media fails, when the world community fails, when the Hague Tribunal turns a blind eye to all the war crimes committed by Nikol Pashinyan and his supporters, the only thing is left is your people. The people of Azerbaijan are rewriting history. We liberate our country from the enemy. We are fighting against terrorists. If not we, they will come to your house. They will come to Georgia, to Russia, Turkey, Iran, France, because once relocated somewhere, they feel like at home. Once Russia backed, the 366 motorized unit ruthlessly gave Karabakh to Armenians. Today, Azerbaijani army fights against not just Armenian forces. We fight against terrorists, and we will force away Armenian aggressors. We will bring peace, a real peace, into this region. Karabakh is Azerbaijan, and we are coming back home. Thank you.